Well, hello there, it's Kriint and welcome to another speed build. As you can see, this week we have a big boy one. It's 30 minutes long, and that's because to build it, it took me 20 freaking hours. 20 hours! What? I don't know, don't ask, but this is illegal, and to edit it, it took me 6 hours. So I truly hope you will enjoy it because I lost my damn mind trying to finish it. Please grab a cup of tea, sit down, relax, because hell to the no, I will be talking for 27 minutes straight without my tea. So let me tell you a bit about the lot. As you can obviously tell, this is a community space, and if you're not familiar with it, community space is a new lot type that came with eco lifestyle. So this lot type has 4 different versions. You have this one that I'm currently doing, which is the community space. This is the base of the build. And then you have the community garden, which obviously assumes go there to plant stuff and harvest and whatnot. And then you have the maker space, which your sims can go there and create stuff. This is kind of a duh. And you have the marketplace, which they can sell what they created. So each week your sims can go there, and there is this board that signs throughout the entire building process. It's a yellow one. I'm sure it's not hard to miss because this was very frustrating while I was editing it. So you go there and you vote, and each week you can have a different space. So what EA did with their base builds, they kinda difference its version. So you have a build, and then they just changed the build a bit to fit the style. For example, obviously with the community garden, they made, I guess, the build more green and eco-friendly and whatnot. I don't really know what other simmers did. I am not really familiar, I didn't see many community spaces, which, not gonna lie, kinda makes sense because I lost my mind trying to do this. But what I wanted to do was take EA's idea and pretty much take it to the next level. I didn't really want the build to change on all of the surroundings, just a bit. I wanted that to change in an excessive degree, kinda like it would be a different build. If you're on Twitter or Twitch or you follow other YouTubers, I'm sure that you've seen many do challenges. So they create a cell and they tell you, here, furnish this or create the cell and whatnot. So this was where I took the inspiration from. As different simmers can create different builds from just a cell, I wanted to create 4 different styles on this just one cell, making only slight adjustments in the actual cell and changing everything around it. And I guess this is what also EA did, to give them credit. Again, I don't know what other simmers did because, I don't know, I saw one, which I was like, there's not much of a difference here. So I'm not really familiar, they made its version very similar, which you do you, right? Who am I to judge? This is what I wanted to do. So obviously we have the community space, and in the EA builds, Max's builds, however you want to call them, the space is empty. So the idea behind the community space is that the community has this empty, unclaimed or old space, and they are all coming together to create something or make something out of it that works for them. And I really liked that idea, right? It's pretty damn cool. I never really thought of it. So all of the EA builds, Max's builds for the community spaces are empty inside. I didn't want that, and plus they are pretty trashed. Again, I didn't really want that because I wasn't really sure at the time, and I'm still not sure, but I feel like I'm not sure if your sims can go back to the community space. like if they can vote the community space plan to enact again, or if you can only vote the marketplace, the community garden, and the makerspace. If this is true, like if you can vote only 3 out of 4, then I pretty much wasted around 2 hours doing the interior and about 3 hours doing the exterior for no freaking reason. But yeah, if I'm assuming you can vote it, again, I wanted it to be more industrial. Like with eco lifestyle, you have 3 different states. You have industrial, like the weather state, if you will, industrial, neutral, and eco, green. So I wanted something that would match the industrial style, and I wanted it because this lot is down the marina and the docks and the shipping yards and everything. I wanted it to match this entire style. So as you can see, I went pretty industrial, like with orange tones and some blues, and of course I had to use the eco lifestyle, new doors and windows everywhere. So this was the idea behind the community space. Like, it's kinda dirty, it's kinda unclaimed, but there are still a lot of things for you to do. There is a cafeteria, there is a small diner, and there is also like a store next door, and there are some activities, like you can read some books, you can play some games. And then we have the second version, which honestly it's what I am mostly proud of, which is the community garden. As you can see, it's pretty green and I'm pretty proud of it. I will change these yellow looking stuff a bit later on, because I couldn't actually delete them. I raised them from the pool app and I couldn't delete them. It's like the items weren't there. So it was pretty frustrating, but I figured it out. It doesn't really matter. So this version, obviously it's very green. I imagined it very fitting to the green climate. I'm not sure how they're called, but you know, you get the idea. And I wanted it to be very bright and white, and I used the brown tones to contrast it, which I felt like it matched perfectly. And in the original one, we had a small, they're not really restaurants. I'm not sure what I should call this area, but the original one had a very dirty one. You would see spider webs, cracks on the walls. The original one, I mean like the community space. So I wanted the community garden to be very green. So I imagined it as a smoothie place, or like a vegan store and whatnot. And I feel like this worked pretty well. Excuse me. So I did the whole plants things on the exterior, but I felt like we don't have enough plants. We need more plants, you know? Not enough. So I was like, okay, what do I do? And I decided, because this room here has a glass roof on top, I was like, maybe we can make it so this is again another garden space, like a greenhouse sorts, which kind of worked. I'm not really happy with that area, but I'm really happy with how the entire exterior turned out. Also, these vertical gardens are amazing. They look so good and I am so in love with them. So yeah, what else? Downstairs, this room was originally an area for activities. It had like a cards table and how's it called? Like a chess table. So I feel like that was a good upgrade. And because we have so many like plants and flowers, I was like, you know what makes sense? To go bees, like to add bees here, and those disgusting little things that have bugs on the bug farm. I don't even know how it's called, but they're disgusting. I took the screenshots, which I tried to take very few, because obviously like there are 4 different builds in one. I could go really excessive with the screenshots, but I decided to keep it as minimal as possible. I could see the bugs crawling through this little disgusting thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is triggering me. I can't. We have a spider in the ceiling for a week now. And whenever I have free time, I'm like, where is the spider? Where is the spider? I cannot do bags. I don't do bags. So, hell to the no. This, I don't recall what this was a laundry room, a laundromat on the community space, because I felt like, because it was like a more run-down area, I could see seams from poorer, is that more poorer? Yes, it's the word, more poor communities coming here, and I decided like a laundromat makes sense. So I upgraded it to a yoga station room, whatnot. And I think it kind of makes sense. So here we had a very generic, how does it called, cafeteria, and I upgraded it to a very green one. Like you will see in a bit, we will go crazy with plants, and I love that. Like you will see them hanging from the ceilings, and I use the lights from Tiny Living, which I really like. Like they have all this color, and they bring out all the colors from the plants, and it looks amazing. I use the trick like I made, so the tables, these ones have flowers on them. I used that on a build I did quite a while ago, like Tokyo Buildings was it called. Really liked it. So on the community space here we had more tables. I decided to go with a more green initiative, and I added a space where people can study and can have their computers and whatnot. So as you can see, I discovered that it's space, I guess, like the community space and the community garden have different traits. So that enabled me to enable different, or to create different storylines. And because I see, like, I don't know why, but in my mind, people who are more recycle, reduce, green stuff, vegan, and like living a healthier lifestyle, they usually have pets. So for some reason, these two are connected to my brain, so I'm like dog friendly. And you will see like I added those cute dog decor and like dog beds, because hold to the let the doggos pee on all of the flowers. I'm really into it, and I really liked it. You will see in the next one, which is coming up soon, I went with children. So I think it works. I think it really works. Obviously I had to change the bathrooms up to make them more green. You would see the original had graffitis and it was more run down. This is green, clean, everything. It's so nice. Like, this is my favorite one out of the 4. I would love to know which one you prefer most. But like, I was really proud of this one, which after that, it took me quite a while to go back. Because when I went for this one, I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. Like, this is really not working. I'm not feeling inspired. It doesn't look as good as the community garden. But honestly, this is my second favorite. Like, it turns out so good because I really wasn't sure what to do. It took me way longer than the other 3, but I'm really happy. So I wanted this to be the makerspace, yes. And I wanted it to be more hipster, more, I guess that, more hipster. And I was like, okay, their creative minds, obviously hipster works really well with that. It's kind of like connected, kinda. I did air quotes, you cannot see them, but you know what? And that was like my entire inspiration behind why I wanted that to be hipster. And it kinda like, as I started working on the whole hipster vibe, it kinda reminded me of the spice market on City Living, and I'm like, that works really well. I really like it. That's why I decided to make it child friendly. And because the whole hipster creative vibe is really connected somehow with the LGBTQ community, because like it's being expressed or free to be expressed how you feel as a person, and you feel also free to express creatively. Somehow these two are connected in like pop culture and whatnot, so I decided, let's make everything rainbow. And this was the moment that I started liking what I was doing here. Because you could see like all the colors and it was feeling good, you know. This area took shape and I really liked the whole vibe, I guess. This is not the correct word. Ideology maybe behind this area and made me really happy. So of course, as it was hipster, the store had to be hipster, the restaurant, and I was watching The Last of Us. I'm sure you can hear the dogs bark on the outside, just ignore them. Of course they had to start barking when I am recording, whatever. Moving on, I was watching The Last of Us, Jacksepticeye's Let's Play, and he mentioned how strong coffee is on Seattle, and coffee is really connected with the whole hipster, like Starbucks and whatnot. So I'm like, let's make this kinda like of a Starbucks-esque shop, like a coffee shop with a hipster vibe, and I really liked it. Like, it turns out so good. And I love all these fairy lights. They're not really fairy lights, but they work so well, and they match the whole aesthetic of the place so well. And wherever I could make it rainbow, I was like, hell to the yeah. Because obviously this is a maker space and I wanted them to have supplies, art supplies and whatnot. I decided to make it that as an art supply store. And outside we have some tents with various little creative or makery things, activities, however you want to call it, which that worked. So now moving to the cafeteria. I really need tea. Give me a sec. Okay, much better. Moving to the cafeteria, obviously that had to be hipsterish, and like it was a given. I really like those fancies. They came with, how's it called? Yeah, eco lifestyle, and they match so well with the whole hood slash brick vibe that I was going with. And I really like them to use them as room dividers. However, something that I really didn't like, when you go to the floor above, they kinda glitch through the floor, which was very frustrating, but it worked. Instead of a cafeteria, I decided to go with an actual like coffee thing that came with Get Together, I think it was. Automatically in the first two, because I chose a cafeteria, a thing comes here and works. I am not sure if that happens in this one. I don't really know. But you know what? It looked good. And that was my point. I decided to use the bubble machines for no other reason other than I thought they kinda look hipsterish. And of course I had to add studio lights because very hipsterish. You will see in a bit, like, the space looks so good, like with all the hanging lights. It made me so happy. Yes, here. It looks so good. So proud of it. And because, of course, as I told you before, it kinda had Spice Market vibes, I decided to create a small kids corner. I think actually one of the requirements was some kids activities. That's why I went with a kids corner. However, on the upstairs, where the greenhouse was before, I decided to create a small kids area. You will see it in a bit. I took inspiration from various restaurants here that have like a kids section, so you can essentially dump your kids while eating out. Or like, I don't know, like supermarkets, they have like this kids area where again you dump your kids and you go shopping. That was my idea. You dump your kids here. Dear moms out there, I'm sorry if this sounds offensive, but yeah, you just leave your kids here and you just do your own thing, and that's what my idea was. I think this space looks pretty cute for a kid, like seeing it as a perspective of a kid. You have a little tent which is not usable, but I feel like for some reason all of us kids like tents. I don't know, I had a tent. Why did I have a tent? I don't know. Why do kids like tents? I don't know. But yeah, I had to add a tent and other various activities for the kiddos. And now we have this space, which I had some creating or making activities that I couldn't really fit outside. For example, these ones, which are fabricators, if I'm not completely mistaken, they didn't really make sense for them to be outside because, like, if it rained, what would you do? So that was the perfect space for them, and I added a little candle creation station. I think it kind of works. It's not the best, it's kind of weird shaped and layout, but you know what? It is what it is. And yeah, now we will jump to the final one. And after doing the more, I don't know, how's it called? The makerspace. I had to do the marketplace, and I was really happy with the last two. The community, no, how's it called? Community garden, my favorite. The second one, the third one, I guess. Again, I forgot it. I just said it and forgot it. The makerspace looks really good. I'm really proud of that. And I had to do this one, which is the marketplace. I had in my mindset that this was going to be a modern one, but I had to somehow make them different, like this one, which is more of a modern high-tech area, to the community garden, which is more of a modern green area. And the truth is, I really suck at modern builds. It's something that I'm not good at. And because it was the last one, and I really wanted to be done, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't put much effort into it. I was like, sure, I don't know, I guess. I had a lot of trouble, like, making this area look good. And I wanted them, again, all to be very different from each other. So I was like, how the hell do I make those two areas different? Community garden and marketplace. And I decided to go again with this blue, which came first with Dine Out. And back then I had no idea what to do with it, because we had nothing else that matched. But with Eco Lifestyle, we got some new stuff which kinda matched, like the windows kinda matched, and some of the wallpapers. I'm like, I guess that way too. But out of the four, this is the one that I'm the least proud of. But to be honest with you, it's a 20-hour build. No matter how many details I like to put in my builds and how much effort I like to put in my builds, there is some place that I draw the line and I'm like, fuck this. This is taking too long. So yeah, I've reached that point at this time, and I obviously had an idea of how I wanted the space originally. And you know how you go, I'm not sure if they're called conventions, or there's a different word, but I don't recall it. But they have like a wedding it's not a convention, it's something else. It's like this big thing that people showcase their items, like wedding or cooking or local foods and whatnot. This was my idea, to have different counters, that each counter would sell different stuff. And as you can see, we have the tables, and you will see in a bit I will decorate each table differently to mark it as a different space, community space, I guess, maker space. So one seller space. One seller, for example, sells rocks, and the other one sells collectibles, and the other one sells books. And that was my idea, and I really like how this turned out. Even though, again, it's kind of a low effort thing because I had really given up, but it looks kind of okay. However, I have an issue. As you can see, I used two sops. They are not called sops. The things that we got firstly with City Living, those stalls maybe, and my idea was for them to sell t-shirts and stuff like that, because it's something you can't get in conventions. Again, they're not called conventions. The actual word skips my mind. But the Sims don't go there. And it's not because they can't route those, it's because only one sim seller spawns to go to those stalls, and it's really annoying because I have 3 inside and 2 outside. In my mind it made perfect sense. In reality it doesn't really work that way. So we reached the end, and honestly I am so glad. I'm so done talking. And you can see like a comparison. I like that way of doing the screenshots, a comparison of the 3 different builds and the main areas of each build. You can see, like, for example, the front, the little shops downstairs near the river, the back, which is the only part of the cell that I actually changed a lot, like the windows. And I did some screenshots on the inside, which I think it's really cool as comparison to see how much each area changes. Like, I am so proud of them. And I am so proud of how long I worked on this build. Like, it looks good and I'm happy with it. Now, I have an issue because I don't really know how to share this. They save as separate types like community space, maker space, etc, etc. And I don't know if I'm supposed to share all 4 of them or one of them and the others will automatically exist. So not sure yet. Check my gallery, I guess. It'll be what it will be. I don't really know. But yeah, you will be able to find all 4 of them, I hope, in my gallery if you want to download them. I know that they place separately. Like, for example, you can change each one of them separately and place the lot in different type. But if you change the type, the other types delete. I don't know, it's confusing. I didn't really get this, how this lot works. I had to ask another simmer. Don't judge me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have an amazing day and take care. Bye!